Thank you for having me.
I hope you're well this morning.
Oh, but it's great.
Great. Were your takeaways from the media budget review?
Pardon?
Your takeaways from the media budget review? Your
Yeah.
observations?
Good morning once more to your cherished listeners, and thank you for having me. Yes, if you want to talk about the generality of the media budget review, I would say it wasn't all that bad. Media budget review is just a matter of a government talking about what has been done for the past 6 months, and then going forward, what government intends to do. But then, I think I spoke to you before the budget was read,
Yes.
and in my presentation, I pointed out some expectations as far as Guta is concerned. Now, if I want to talk about specifics, as far as our expectations were concerned, I think you remember I spoke on the VAT, I spoke on the 24-hour economy, I spoke on the Women's Bank, I spoke on the rationalization of duty regime, and then I also spoke about Guta not expecting any major tax as far as businesses are concerned. Yeah, after the minister reading the budget, I think it's only one of my expectations that was met, and that had to do with the women's banking. Over the past, there has been a lot of talk about this women's banking, and we didn't know when actually this women's banking is going to be operationalized. But thank God, the minister touched on it, and he said that by the end of the year, we should see the women's banking in operation. So I think to that extent, it's good because if we want to talk about trading, we have a lot of our women into trading. And even though there has been some decrease as far as the lending rate is concerned, we think it's still on the high side. And so, therefore, if this women's bank comes to operation, I'm sure they will be giving some credit to these women at a very moderate rate. So, on that aspect, I think it's okay. Yeah, having said that, like I told you, if you look at the generality of the budget, it is not all that bad because there are a lot of things that the minister, touch on. Apart from the trading aspect that he touched on some two issues which have to do with the abolishment of the 20% excise duty on the locally produced juice. I think it's a step in the right direction because of this excise duty, it was making the local production at a very high cost, and so therefore they were not competitive as far as competing with those that came from outside is concerned. So taking that 20% SRGT out will let them have a little bit of relief, and so therefore their prices will also come down for them to be able to compete with the imported ones. So I think on that aspect, it's also okay. And then when we talk about the VAT, VAT is a consumption tax. And in my presentation to you before the budget, I told you that we were expecting that as we are in the informal sector, we will prefer that we will go back to the flat rate of 4%. And we even suggested, I think I told you that even if that will increase to between 5 to 6%, I think it will be okay for us because in in that aspect, we wouldn't be making any claim because if you look at the 4% that we're paying, at the end of the month, we just pay whatever we have received from the consumers or from the customers without making any claims, because we don't make any input and then output. And then if you subtract, if government is supposed to pay you something, government will credit you. If you are supposed to also pay by way of the input and output, then you also pay. But we think because of the technicalities involved, that is why we were preferring the flat rate. But then we didn't hear anything. What we heard was that they are coming out with some sort of motivation for consumers, to demand VAT receipt whenever they make purchases, so that by government offering them some incentives, it will then motivate consumers to obtain a VAT receipt whenever they make purchases. So I think in that aspect also, it is okay because VAT, we all know, is a consumption tax, and it is the consumer who's supposed to pay. So the government is coming out with some motivation which will encourage people to obtain VAT receipts when they do purchases. It is also good. So in terms of trade, I would say that is our share as far as the budget is concerned.
You said you listed three things. You said two were conspicuously missing, were not mentioned?
No, I said three.
Okay.
The three had to do with one. Nothing was mentioned about the 24-hour economy. If you remember, I spoke to you.
Yes.
That Guta has made some proposal to the Secretariat of the 24-hour economy in terms of some assistance to be able to also migrate from the buying and selling to manufacturing. So we were expecting to hear some kind of support that the government will offer to the proposals that we have submitted to the 24-hour Secretariat. But we didn't hear anything at all about that. Then I also told you we were also expecting some pronouncement on the rationalization of the duty regime because we had made some proposal to government that government, should rationalize the whole duty regime that is currently pertaining. And government told us that government also needed some revenue, and so therefore there are some measures that government intends to put in place for government to maximize its revenue. So we should wait. After those measures have been put in place, then government will now consider the duty rationalization. And that led to the implementation of the publican AI. I hope you heard the minister mentioning that since the publican AI was introduced, government is raising a lot of money. And since March to, I think, June, government has raked in over $300 million. So we think government is getting a lot more revenue from the port. And so therefore, it's about time government takes a look about the whole duty regime and see if something can be done. We didn't hear anything as far as the duty regime is concerned. And I also told you about I think yes. Those are the expectations.
Okay. On the duty regime, did you say you made proposals to government?
Oh, we have, even in the run-up to the election.
Okay.
In the run-up to the election, we even met the then candidate, His Excellency, the President now. And we presented, we have something which is called BOE, that is Bill of Entry. Bill of Entry is a document that the fees, levies, and charges that you are supposed to pay at the port is, it's put on that Bill of Entry. And so when we met him, we presented a copy bill of entry to him. And having looked at the bill of entry, he exclaimed and said, "Is this what you people are contended with?" And we said, "Yes, Your Excellency, this is what we are contending with." And it was that instance that he promised that when he comes into power, he will rationalize. That is the term he used. He will rationalize the whole duty regime so that at least importers and for that matter traders will get some sign of relief, which will by extension also be some benefit to the consuming public. Because if duties are moderate, definitely the consumers will also benefit from it. You see. So when they came into power, we had occasion of meeting at the finance ministry, and we complained again. It was at that meeting that he told us that we should wait for them, to put in some measures, because they think government was still losing some money at the port. And so therefore, if those measures are taken and then government maximize its revenue, it is there that they can have a look at rationalizing the whole duty regime. So we think now that the publican air has been implemented and government is getting the desired revenue, they also have to fulfill their promise by looking to rationalize the duty regime.
And from your understanding back then, the rationalization was supposed to reduce the burden.
Was supposed to
reduce the burden.
It was supposed to reduce the whole import, the import duties that we are paying.
Okay.
You get me?
Yes. And that's what you are looking forward to.
Yes, that's what we are looking forward to.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
That's Mr. Clement Boateng, President, Ghana Union of Traders Association. They were clear. He was clear as to what they expected from the media budget review. One was dealt with, and he was happy with what he heard about the Women's Bank. But the other two, like he highlighted, said they heard little about. And they are still drawing the attention of government to the fact that those promises must be met. He said they actually made proposals to the 24-hour economy secretariat, and we're expecting to hear something about their proposal and the steps that were being taken on those proposals and the progress that was being making that was being made as far as 24-hour economy is concerned. Adam, you're on the floor.
Yes. So I think I landed on the 24-hour economy before.
Yes, that's exactly what you were talking about.
Yes, and he also touched on did he touch on the Women Development Bank?
The Women Development Bank. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that
because you talked about incorporation.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been done and rollout will begin end of year. I think they've done well. It's one of the major promises made, and fulfilling it is a good thing because I think that initiative is a fantastic thing. The policy to have a bank dedicated for women, I think is solid.
And I'm hoping that, because before you continue on the other side, one of the other things I'm also thinking about is a consultation as to the form it takes.
Okay.
Because if you don't speak to the traders, you implement what you think will work for them. I think there has to be consultations on form.
Okay.
Because if you miss
that,
you mess up the entire policy. You have to speak to them on form and have a conversation with them. It helps you put together a structure that everybody agrees with, a structure that must also be cost effective to you as a government. You don't spend a lot of money operationalizing it. More of the money goes to, of course, the women. That's what you intend to do.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
I think beyond these 2 points, I think overall it was a good budget, mid-year budget. It highlights what government has done so far.
Yeah.
Government told us the economy was heated, so they administered a short-term therapy to cool it down.
Yeah.
And if you look at the indicators and what the rating agencies are saying, you could see that government is doing something right. Unfortunately, some people are of the view that because government is not spending so much, nothing is happening.
Question is,
I think that is unfortunate.
How can, you see, and if you're saying government is